It's September, it's after 6 p.m. and it's still over 30 degrees centigrade. Summer has returned. So it's going to be an absolutely gorgeous week here in the UK, with temperatures expected to be at least 25 degrees every day. Today was meant to be a high of 25, 26, but it's got up to 30.9 degrees, so even higher than expected, and it's going to only get warmer as the week progresses. So we're going to have 5, 6, maybe 7 days of above 25 degrees, proper heat, proper summer, and it's something we all deserve really after what has been a pretty mediocre or subpar summer. Yes, June was really warm, but July was a write-off. It was just dull and wet. August was neither here nor there. Now we're in September and it looks like we're going to get the hottest week of the year. So what do these high temperatures mean for the garden, for the plants in the garden? Well, they're going to love it. I mean, it's nice and warm, there's still lots of moisture in the ground, and it means things can continue to grow. But there's one thing to look out for, and that is feeding. You don't want to give high nitrogen feed to plants in the garden at this time of year. In fact, I would stop feeding pretty much everything, especially palms and plants that are going to be staying out all year round, that are evergreen and maybe only half hardy, because if you feed them sort of after the end of August, what happens is it promotes lots of lush growth. And although we want that in the spring and summer months, when we get to September and October, any lush foliage that comes out due to heat wave and feeding and watering can get quickly fried if it drops cold really quickly, a bit like what happened last year. So how can we take advantage of this warm sunny weather? Well, you can feed plants, but providing you don't feed it with nitrogen rich or even balanced fertilizer. What you want to use is a low nitrogen feed, so something with potassium and phosphorus, which promotes root growth and also flowering and fruit, but doesn't mean that it will grow lots of leafy lush foliage at this time of year. So things like tomato feed would be fine, and specific low nitrogen feeds. Things that you want to avoid include Miracle Grow, things like that, chicken manure, or anything really high in nitrogen, because that will, like I said, promote lush growth, especially over the next week or two when it's nice and warm, and that is going to cause foliage that's produced with extra nitrogen to be very lush, very soft, and it means that it can get quickly fried by the winter when it arrives. And although it's not going to be cold for quite a few weeks yet, when you fertilise the ground, it continues to feed the plants for quite some time, and if you get new lush growth at this time of year, like I said, it's more susceptible to cold and frost damage. So instead of feeding plants this week, what I suggest you do is make sure everything's well watered. You know, it's going to be extremely dry at this time of year in terms of water levels. The groundwater levels are at the lowest in September, so make sure everything's nicely watered, especially pots obviously. It's going to be very hot, very dry all week. And what else can you do? Obviously enjoy the garden. Get out there on an evening, even if it gets dark a bit earlier, just make sure you go out and enjoy the garden. It's going to be nice and warm all day long and the evenings, and it's a great time to be out in the garden. September is my favourite month of the year. It's my birthday month, and I think it's probably going to be the best month of 2023.